right, so what we're going to show right here, the video should be pretty precise, pretty to the point, but what I'd like you to do is see through the eyes of C major how to see intervals. Now, an interval is a distance between 2 points. When we're talking about music, most of the music that we teach it through the eyes of C major, as in the key of C major has no sharps and flats. So it's much easier to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. When moving through these notes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we judge all other music and all other intervals through the idea of judging what a major chord sounds like. So, when we do something like a 1 chord, we are talking about the root. This is called the tonic. When we talk about the 2 chord, we are talking about the subtonic. The third of a 7-note system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, has a third as being the mediant. The mediant pulls a lot, and it determines, I don't think there's an E in there actually, it determines whether a chord is major or minor. When we see the subdominant, we're talking about a chord that takes a little bit of the energy away from our intervals. The most common interval jump is 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. This fifth is called the dominant. It's where all the other chords flow towards and then away from. Our 6th chord is called the submediant. The submediant functions quite like the mediant. However, it depends on when you change the tonality of the chord to a minor, and then we use the natural minor as being the 1. What happens at that point is we see the tonic as being the chord that holds the mediant, whether it's major or minor. But that's also relevant to knowing what relative majors and minors are, and I don't want to talk about that right now. It's very confusing. We'll get into it later. All we need to know is that it's called the submediant, and it's much like the 3. When we have a 7 chord, we're talking about something called the lending or leading tone. When we constitute what these are, we're seeing this as being a prime. We're seeing this one after our prime going to a chord that kind of reflects that, but we call it the major second. The 3rd is called the major 3rd. The 4th is called the perfect 4th. The 5th is called the perfect 5th. The 6th is called the major 6th. And the 7th is called the major 7th. Now, this is how we diagnose a chord structure for each one with 7 notes. The type of scale this is in the Western era is called a diatonic scale. Dia is referring to the first 2 notes when we make these into triads. So here's what the explanation turns into. When we have a major scale, like a C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, we have a C, E, and a G making up our first triad. 1, 3, 5. The distance between C and E is a major 3rd. The distance between E and G is a minor 3rd. The construction of a major chord would be major 3rd plus minor 3rd. When we play the next chord in order, C, E, G, D, F, A, the unison of the D and the F is now the minor 3rd. The unison of the F to the A is now the major 3rd. Hence, minor chord. The 2, the 3, the 6, are minors. The 1, the 4, and the 5 are majors. And then because the 7 has a minor third, B to a D is a minor third. However, the third note that's stacked on top of that is also a minor third, meaning majors have a major third and a minor thirds have a minor third and a major third. When we have a diminished chord, it's a minor third and a minor third stacked. And when we have an augmented chord, it's a major third and a major third stacked. Now, there is no augmented chord inside of a major key, nor is there an augmented chord inside of a natural minor. When we play an melodic minor or a harmonic minor, two types of delineations or additions to a modus called natural minor, it alters the 1, 3, 6, or 7, depending on what you're looking at. We will get into that later, but knowing we could just spell all of our triads, major, minor, minor, and then FAC, major, GBD, major, ACE, minor, and then in every key, the 7th is called the diminished, B, D, F. You will not find B, D, F as 3 notes of a triad in any other key than C major or its relative minor, which shares a key signature of no sharps and flats, A minor. The reason why the circle of fifths is somewhat important is because we tend to just use that circle of fifths to see relativity. Once you draw it enough times, you start seeing that C major and A minor have a relative major and minor, just like F major and D, or G major and E, or dare I say B flat and G. When we keep doing this process, you can see D major has a relative minor of B minor, or A major has a relative minor of F sharp. It's not one thing we do, it's all the things we do. But for you and I, we're going to start off just with the key signature of C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. The key signature of G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, because the 1 sharp in all of these that layers is the F sharp. G has 1 sharp, it's F sharp. D has 2 sharps, F sharp, C sharp. A has 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. E4, B5. All the way till C sharp, where we have all 7, F, C, G, D, A, E, and B. The other chord we're going to work on is the F. F has a B flat as its 4th. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E diminished. These 3 keys are these, and they have 0 sharps and flats, 1 sharp, 0 flats, and then 1 flat, 0 sharps. That's how we see these first 3 keys. And we'll talk about this over and over and over again. Just so you'll see that G to B, that is called a major third. Therefore, in the key of G major, the first chord is a major chord. We're going to go over this next week and see how we did on a wrap-up. But as far as the circle of fifths go and how to visualize it, try writing it out. We're going to have all of these being the same every single time we write it. That's what the circle looks like, and then I'll show you some trips. But the idea that we're walking away from is relative major, minor. G major is E minor. When we see the key signature of G major, we will see 1 sharp, and we will know that this is either in the key of G major or E minor, because they both share 1 sharp. I would love to get into the explanation of that, but the idea is we're going to have to cross that bridge in another time, because we would go through the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, show you how to manipulate those 7 notes to derive a minor scale from a major. But first, we got to learn that major scale. It's great seeing you today. Thank you for the handout workout. That will go wonderful with my Sanshin learning and the actual note names and notation. Aloha.